Morning everyone, TB testing reading day. Unfortunately, we've had our first ever reactor. So we've got Rosie here, she's kind enough to talk us through the measurements.
So unfortunately this morning we've got a top lump of 11 and a bottom lump of 20, and she was measuring about 6'6" on day one, so
Big difference.
Big difference. Top lump's the avian, bottom lump's the bovine, so unfortunately she's got a little green tag in now, and she's
So the green tag, Rosie, what does that do?
So that takes a DNA sample out of the ear, and I kind of correlate with a number and put it on my TB sheets, and that gets sent off for testing as well. Yeah.
Go from there. So we'll now isolate this cow until she's collected off the farm, and then retest again in 60 days.
60 days.
Don't worry, Rosie, you'll still get your bacon sandwich. Yeah, so not what we wanted, everyone, but it is what it is. Remember, it's never the vet's fault. Got to do the worst bit now and go and tell the boss. She's not going to be happy. All right, we've had a reactor. Only one. 2377. Right, so we've done the test now. We finished with one reactor. I can confirm we did give Rosie a bacon sandwich. We're just going to talk through, Rosie's going to talk through her measurement graph that she's got and explain a little bit about how it works. Too technical for me, so we'll pass over to Rosie. All right, Rosie, fire away.
Right, so here's our reactor, so cow 1652. So you see she's gone up by 5 mil on the top lump on the avian, and up by 14 mil on the bovine. So this is our handy dandy little chart. So if we go along and we find up by 5, so the green is when they're all right, the white and the blue are IRs at different kind of standards, and the red is reactor. So we went up by 5 on the avian, and we went up by 14, which isn't even on the chart.
So she's gone over
So
the
she's all the way up past this and up in the table.
Blimey.
So it's quite a significant one.
Big reactor. So moving forward, because the gap between the measurements is now tighter, now we're shut down, is that right, or have I got that wrong?
Yeah, that's right. So here you can see the blue here is an inconclusive at standard or a reactor at severe. So you'll now be popped onto severe, unfortunately.
Right.
So the banding becomes sort of, there's that 3 mil difference instead of the 5 mil difference, which is, a lot stricter. And the idea is to kind of completely get it out the herd.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens in the next 60 days.
That's all we can do. Now I've been given a load of checklists now as well that I've got to look through. So from our point of view as a farm, obviously Rosie's has to do this 4 times a week. Monday, Tuesday, and then read them Thursday, Friday, which must be horrendous. A lot of people talk about the farmers and all of this, but it has a big impact on the vets. I'm sure it does, doesn't it, Rosie?
Yeah, definitely.
Certainly does. Can't be easy having to tell a miserable old farmer like me that you've got TB. But from a farm point of view, so we'll dump that cow's milk. She's isolated from the herd, which is a pain in itself, but it's got to be done. And then the relevant people will get in touch with me, they'll tell me how much I'm getting for the cow, no negotiation. And then once they pick that cow up, then we can book our next test. Is that right?
It. So you've got to wait until it's taken away, and then you can book it in.
Yeah. So that's our next step. And then from a business point of view, we can buy cows in under license. We can't sell any stock unless we do it on the orange market, which younger cattle, that can affect the value quite significantly. But once you get over the 9-month period, as long as you've got some good cattle, they pretty much sell at par level with people that are open. So that's not a massive issue. I think, what's the financial implications, boss? Be about, what do we do, about 12 grand's worth of calves, I expect, a year?
Yeah, about that.
So we can't sell that. So it's probably a good job we booked our holiday, otherwise we wouldn't be having one. It's too late now because we paid for it. So yes, it's shit really. But as farmers, you sort of just got to be resilient and keep going, because if we weren't, we wouldn't be doing it now. So keep going, all else fails, drink rum.
The simple answer is we need a vaccine.
Yeah, realistically.
Like that would
Yeah.
help
The
massively.
problem with the vaccine is that they can't differentiate whether a cow's infected with TB or whether it's just been vaccinated,
Right.
which is why they're creating the DIVA test, which is differentiating infected versus vaccinated animals. That's what it stands for.
Right.
And so that's had a few implications on, it's had a few hold-ups in the testing period sort of thing. So I think it was due about 2027, but now they've pushed it back to 2030, I believe. I could be wrong, don't quote me on this. But yeah, it's looking to be it would be a good thing to happen, but
It's way off, yeah.
there's a lot of...
And how many cattle are going to be killed in the meantime?
Yeah.
And it's everywhere, isn't it?
It's everywhere. Yeah, you
everywhere.
can't get away from it. There's rarely a week where I don't give out any reactors. Like, that's a rarity. You're a minority if you're open at the moment, really. Definitely in our area down here.
So we've had a good run to be clear for 2.5 years then, really.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Take the positives.
Yeah. Exactly.